Glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Today's going to be more off the cuff, though I do know some things we want to talk about, which I want to get right into. People are seeing what's going on, and many are getting it. Many are getting the things that we've discussed or that I've brought out that go back years are now beginning to happen. And I've found it ironic that some of these things are being right in your face, right in our face, are being debated still as if they're not happening. I've literally had that kind of conversation with certain people that telling me we can pray this away. Where I've, as we were just talking about a little bit ago, I've tried to explain there's several aspects to this. One, when it comes to the book of Revelation and you start reaching the end, you can't pray it away. And as we've discussed, there are players in positions, governments, players, presidents, factions, people, all spoken about in the book of Revelation. And when it comes to the end time and other prophets that speak about the end, all these players get into position. And you don't get to pray them away and say, God, please don't let them come about, because they are all set in stone,
Right.
and spoken about in stone in the Word of God. And what I think, as we were mentioning, some people, they don't take the whole picture into consideration, that we are literally on a clock.
Right.
We are on God's clock, God's time clock, and there's scripturally 7 days or 7,000 years that you cannot pray away. When we reach the end of the 6th day or 6,000th year, you don't get to pray away that date, that time when that hits. And yet people will tell you, preachers will tell you, that you can pray it away.
And that's what gets me, though. Like, how come do they not know that they can't go against what is in the Word? You know, I would think they already know that. You can't pray away something that is already written and is going to be set in stone to happen.
I don't think I think, like I'm mentioning now, and again, we've kind of touched on, I don't think they take the totality of all of it. I think it sounds good when we see in Scripture that we can pray things away, and we can pray things away. But now when it comes to the book of Revelation,
Right.
portions of Isaiah and Joel and Amos, you can't pray these things away. You will arrive at that point in time. It doesn't get prayed away. You can pray your way through it, but you can't pray the events, the circumstances, the judgments. You don't get to pray them away. And some people, as we kind of talked about, I don't think they look at the totality of that. You can't pray away the ending of the 6th day any more than you could pray Saturday away from Sunday. It's just not
Right.
going to happen. And when we hit the Sabbath, God's Sabbath, He's going to enjoy the full 1,000 years. Not 999 or
Right.
1,020. It's going to be 1,000 years. And when we hit the ending of that day, the 7,000th year, the dead that are going to be judged, they get brought up, and there are certain things that are specified and are on the clock.
Yes.
But we don't think that way, and I don't think they say, well, we can pray it away. Somebody just told me that here recently. We can gather together and we can ask God's mercy upon America. And as we're going to be discussing in a show that I want to raise a little bit up here, because we're going to talk a little bit about Epstein, people are looking for change, and they think they can pray away these things. And been saying for years and years, all that's happening is exposure.
All we have been seeing, it's like a person standing before a judge who's being read the charges and the verdicts. You've been found guilty of. You've been found guilty of. You've been found guilty of. Guilty, 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 guilty. Guilty. Are you ready for sentencing?
God is saying, you're guilty of this. You're guilty of that. I remember discussing 5 years ago, Hunter Biden. And
We watched it for the last decade. We've seen these exposures come out. This is being exposed. That's being exposed. How many times did you or your friends? I couldn't tell you how many times I kept waiting. They're going to get locked up. Look at all the evidence. Right? Look at all the evidence. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Everybody needs to be locked up. And you just kept understanding all of the corruption that we kept seeing, and nothing ever would happen. And there's still scandals. No, nothing's going to happen. Got to go with Hunter Biden on this. I mean, there are so many things going on that I guarantee you nothing will happen.
And there are such things that we're going to discuss in the next TV show. There is no fix to them.
Right. You said it was you you said you can pray your way through it, but not pray it away.
Yeah, you can.
And that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, you can't pray them away. They will happen. And so when it comes to the judgments that people are wanting, we're going to talk about some of that here. Some of the stuff that I want to mention that's going to be in the television show, they are so horribly dark and evil. For instance, sex trafficking, child trafficking, human trafficking. I don't know if you're aware of that America, good old America, God loves America. We sing God bless America and all this, it's a prayer. God can't bless sin. It comes to the point that America is the biggest contributor and consumer of sex trafficking.
That's sickening.
It's pathetic. And but here's the thing, you could eliminate America, wipe it off the map. And it's this market, the tentacles are everywhere.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Into the highest portions of government, governments, I should say, of all kinds of personnel, all the way down to just regular people, the public.
Yeah. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. High, low, medium, rich, poor. It's everywhere.
So I don't care how much we are able to clean up. You wipe America off the map, and it is still everywhere. And my argument: how do you stop something that's everywhere?
Yeah.
And listen to me, people who are looking for God to bless America and are eating cake that Trump's in, and that are God's going to change America and justice is coming. I've been telling you all this is who. I got two things to say here. One, who's going to get it here? The Epstein files have just been released. And I don't know. I'm thinking we're going to see a bunch of redacted and classified. You can't have this exposed, and I don't care if everybody came out. Everybody. You bring out everybody, and we see the names on the list. I don't think. First off, we're finding out we can't even prosecute them
because of the statute of
the
limitations.
statute. Yeah, what? It's just all you know. What's going to happen? You're going to get tisk. And if anybody could be prosecuted, do you realize who these people are? This is why it's been held back.
Right.
For a year. I mean, we've been waiting for all kinds of stuff. I'm still wanting to see the JFK files.
Yeah.
Because now we're getting a list, which we already knew, and nobody was prosecuted. Why are we not thinking, folks? Nobody was prosecuted, but we had the victims. They knew these are high-profile people worldwide. These victims saw who they were sleeping with, unless they were blindfolded.
Nothing, and that's what is so sad and sickening, is nothing is going to come of it. Everybody was so consumed, get the Epstein when Biden was in office, because everybody was so consumed and wanted to know that Trump was on there. But they forget to think that everybody is on there. Nobody wants this to come out. Republicans, Democrats, in the middle, nobody wants this to come to light.
Now it's just political. And now it's all harmless. Like I said, all you may get is a tisk. And yet I'm going to say the evil, folks. You cannot fix this market. You cannot. You could get a load. If God was able to sweep the markets, get rid of all the cartels and all the factions that create this market of sex and human trafficking, they're still consumers.
Right.
And if you have a buyer, you'll have a seller. They'll just come right back. The point is, you can't clean this. There's only one fix to this. One fix. Not that you'll want to admit this. And listen to me, you who are you're more consumed in thinking about your own little four walls. And it's not your kids. Yet I'm going to argue these are God's kids.
Yeah.
Every one of them. We've got abortion going through the womb all the way to the time of, almost to the time of birth, gestation. So those are God's kids. Then you got them where they're little babies, and then they're little children, infants, and that kind of stuff. And then they become the adolescents, and that's all God's kids. It doesn't take religion for a kid to be God's kid.
Right. Yeah, they're pure. They're innocent.
No, they're all His. Mm-hmm. 9, 10, 11, 12, into the early teens. I would say it would take the latter teens before you come to the age of accountability. Now, I'm not going to say they're 21. I believe everybody's different. I'm not going to argue. I don't think there's a set age. I think everybody's different, and there's a certain age of accountability, but I would still argue that you're going to be into the latter teens to where you've hit that point. And from there on out is all sex trafficking and people that are being ripped from families, and these are His kids. And Scripture tells us, I would rather go to jail than what Jesus says. It'd be better that a millstone wrapped around your head, neck, and thrown into the depths of the sea than to harm one of these kids.
Right. Yeah, it's sick. It's sickening.
So, if God is still sitting on the throne, He says He changes not. Mm-hmm. I'm the Lord, I change not. These are His. He cannot be a just God and let this continue and continue and continue. Where every one of these kids are His. Mm-hmm. I hear how weird things are, the kinds of thoughts some people think, that they were His, God would have protected them. A kid's a kid. This is satanic, folks. God's not willing that any should perish when it comes to people, and He's not willing that one kid should perish, and it's His at that point, and yet their lives are being robbed from them.
Yeah, no, it is satanic, 100%.
God has to be a just God. We were going to talk about homosexuality and about Sodom and Gomorrah. We'll talk about it in the show.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It reminds me of Sodom and Gomorrah.
We've taken perversion to new heights, where no man has gone before, literally like Star Trek. We've taken it to such sexual perversion all the way down to the kids. This stuff wasn't happening when we did the Can God Bless Him. What this stuff, you're teaching them in our schools, our adolescents. You're teaching them that if you don't think you're whatever race or sex you are, of course that'd even come into play too. If you don't feel like a girl today, you're probably a boy.
Or you can be a frog or a cat or
really?
rabbit.
I haven't even heard. Oh, this is ridiculous. I don't even want to even. This sounds silly. Yeah. And yet, now see how they'll castrate you, mm-hmm. but you got to be 18 to get a tattoo. Right. But you want to whack that thing off? We'll take care of you if you don't feel like a guy today. And this is what America's become. Again, God, He's either went on vacation, He's not the same as He was, He's lied to you and to me, or He must act. Yeah. Just on that. Mm-hmm. Forget the sex nonsense and the trafficking and the perversion of that's worldwide. Nothing is going to become from this list other than exposure. You will not see the Clintons.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
This is simply you've been found guilty of. You've been found guilty of.
Well, the thing is, though, is even Elon and Kash Patel, they go in with the want and the hopes that they're going to be able to, uncover all of these things. But you can literally see the difference between when they go in at first and they have all of these dreams and hopes. Yeah. But now you look at them and they look scared. They look traumatized. You can't get them to say anything. Who knows what they know and what they've seen behind the scenes once they have access to that.
Yeah. We are reaching the end for America. Mm-hmm. Babylerica.
Yeah.
Or Maribelon. See, we're now starting to see these things. Again, we're seeing them, but it's not registering really what this means. And yet again, I mean, I can go back, and I remember how I was saying Islam was going to be coming to America, and no, we're a God-fearing nation, and that'll never happen. And now we're seeing it happen. We're seeing people throughout America.
Radical Islam is not congruent with American culture. But maybe more importantly, it's not compatible with the Constitution. That's not our opinion, that's a fact. The Wall Street Journal even wrote about this, giving examples of Muslim radicals in Dearborn, Michigan, celebrating terrorism and terrorists. They just held a memorial service for a Hezbollah terrorist in one of their new mosques. They even honored several people on the terror watch list. None of this is normal, but the media and the left in this country continue to look the other way like it's not happening right in front of us every day, all the time. These people are openly chanting death to America in our streets in broad daylight, and we're supposed to be polite and pretend that it's not happening.
There is no Sharia law in Dearborn.
And anybody that tries to burn the Quran, God will get them one day, I promise.
My town itself is growing just like this. They just built a big mosque and everything too. And it's freaking bullshit.
It shouldn't worry people about how fast Islam is rising and growing here in the United States.
It is growing too fast, and it's been growing for too long.
I think if people don't take a stand, eventually the United States will be similar to Europe and the United Kingdom, where they've gone with the rise of Islam.
Unfortunately, yes. I think that today men are extremely weak and they need to fight for what they believe in and the fundamentals of their country.
How many more years do you give the United States until it's a bigger issue here with Islam and Christians per se?
3 to 5 years.
You guys deserve it. Get the out of our... Now we're gonna come to your guys' city and do this.
If you're a Christian in this country, these people hate your way of life. They oppose your existence. We can no longer allow this. If we're looking what's happening across the pond in Europe, in Berlin, and France, all over, and London, do we want to be like that? No. Listen, we got another Quran. I'll go get a different one. You got chill out.
I remember when I was writing the graph, I was having such a hard time. This was back in 2012. God was giving me Islam. This is before there was any ISIS or anything like that. And I was having a hard time writing.
Like picturing it or seeing it?
Well, God was
describing
saying
it?
what the religion behind the beast is, that some people still want to point to the Roman Empire and Catholicism. Before we were even seeing beheadings, I was writing about it here. And now these things in here are happening. And there's people I'm arguing with that are refusing that it's even happening.
I mean, how can they refuse it? It's right there in front of their face.
You don't want to believe it. They have their beliefs, and you know, there's all kinds of beliefs out there that they're like this. They don't see anything more than the nose on their face. Mm-hmm. It is too bad. You know, it is really too bad. But I want to get in. I think we need to get into the part to where I said I was going to start. People are asking about where do you go? When these things start happening, as they're going to happen, and as they're right in front of our face, they're beginning to happen. The stage is being set. Mm-hmm. Islam is going to take over America for the most part. I know you can't even. I remember when I was saying that, I did a television show in 2020. Mm-hmm. I was saying I know it makes no sense.
You're going to be finding out Allah is going to be the new God. I know it sounds crazy, huh, folks?
So when I said that on television, it didn't make any sense. It was like, I know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It makes no sense. I know, I get it.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah. There's things where I didn't want to listen to you and I didn't care. And now it's like, okay, I guess you were right. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I see it happening.
And it has nothing to do with being right. It has to do with showing that this was spoken about when it made no sense.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
And nobody was saying, and it made no sense. And I realize I'm saying it makes no sense. And now we're seeing it happen.
Yeah.
And there are people still saying it's not happening. I'm still arguing with people. I had a beautiful call today from somebody. Left a message. I don't know if I want to say that. It doesn't really matter. They post every now and then. A beautiful person, which I was needing it because I'm like, I get to the point like the last week, what am I doing? Why am I fighting to bring forth truth that's really hard to listen to?
Yeah. Sorry. No, yeah. And ironically, the same person, Mr. Long, like he called in. He called in about a month ago when you were also feeling like, you were kind of upset, and I was in Denver, and I felt like you needed that phone call then.
You mentioned that.
And then you needed it today, So, yeah.
There are two sides of the spectrum here. You get people that are really beautiful people. That'll soak up truth, and they understand it, and they'll take a moment to listen to it as opposed to just, the wall goes up. They heard nothing that you said. And then even now you're presenting it, and they still don't hear you.
Right.
And then you get the other side, everything in between and all the way to the other side, where you're dealing with swine, pigs.
Yeah.
That you're not supposed to cast. And that's where I've been. That's why I'm not going to be bringing television shows onto YouTube anymore, I don't think. It'll be very rare. Because some of the nuggets on TV, they are receptive. Or at least we're not getting a lot of, like we did at one time. Years.
You did in the beginning.
Yeah.
2020.
Oh, a lot of warfare going on. Now, what's really the things we're talking about are now beginning to happen.
Yeah.
Which is where
yeah.
So people are beginning to understand. They want to know, and I said I was going to talk about this. I'm going to give various chapters. I'm going to go through Jeremiah 51. Then Jeremiah 50 next show. Then Isaiah has various scriptures and chapters I'm going to go through. I want you to hear some of the things that are said to happen to Babylon, Amarabalon, or Babylarica.
I think that's hilarious.
It is kind of funny, but that's the truth. And I have shown this Babylon is not America. And yet more people are coming around, finally coming around. I was writing this in 2012. It was America. And I think there was only one. I only remember hearing David Wilkerson. This was after the fact. I wasn't even on YouTube yet. I didn't even look at YouTube until I got on about who's there, what's there, and all this other. It doesn't matter. The point is, people are starting to come around. Some more than not, I think.
I think so.
That are believing America is Babylon now. But the point is, this Babylon in Jeremiah is the same as Revelations. I did a show one time showing all the scriptures, as I'll repeat for those of you who didn't see it. I've shown all the scriptures on how they're all the same in Jeremiah 51 and 50 and 51, and as they are in Revelation 17 and 18. They're all the same, identical. I'm not going to do it again. I don't want to go through and do it again. So if you've seen that in the past, you know this is the same Babylon as is in Revelation.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, we get a lot more information here of what's going to happen, or at least there's a lot more. And I want to read through. I'm just going to breeze through this. I think I will point out some things you've never considered, never seen, and I want you to consider it. What God is doing, He's literally emptying Babylon. And there are people who are going to try to fight, hunker down, and you're literally fighting God. I want to tell you this. You're fighting God. You think you have enough resources. You think you're going to have enough storage. And yet God is His whole purpose is to empty Babylon. And I've said in the past, if you are a servant of the Lord and you want to find your way, you listen to what He says. You don't do it your way, you do it His way. And if He says repeatedly, get out of Babylon, to His people, 3 or 4 times, and numerous times, He's literally, the purpose is because He's emptying Babylon. And there's all kinds of judgments that are going to come down. Everything that you may think you've thought past, He's already outthought you on. Those of you that think I got electricity, wait till you see, and you got to be solar power. Wait till you see the skies are covered in blackness and there is no sun.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Like,
I'm just going to keep going on. Go.
I do feel bad because I guess I can understand not wanting to leave. That kind of reminded me of a few years ago when there was a fire here and neighbors came and were saying, like, you need to evacuate, and you were like, I ain't going anywhere. Like, I'm going to stay here, I mean,
well, this was God's
I guess I
judgment
can
upon us.
understand
Yeah.
people who are not going to want to leave their home.
I get that. they haven't taken into fact, one, God said, get out.
Yeah.
You don't argue with the Almighty. You don't do that.
Right.
He says, get out, lest these judgments come upon you. So he can't change that word.
Yeah.
So you get out, or the judgments come upon you.
Great.
Do you understand it? There was no condition to it.
No, yeah, I get it.
Lest these judgments come upon you. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Take your pick. Get out.
So you guys better listen.
Least these, and what are the judgments? So you think you're gonna hunker down. God says get out. I'm gonna get out. I'm not gonna argue with the man. Okay, I'm out of here. Just show me where. So you got the sky being covered.
Yep.
America's going to be on fire. Mm-hmm. Literally. In fact, let me get a load of this. I'm 51. I'm going to give you the scriptures that are important, so I want you to hear that are kind of unique. 51 verse 2. And I will send upon Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Now there's buckets of stuff right in there. Mm-hmm. The enemies are there, but what is this? I will send unto her fanners. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why would there be a bunch of fan going on? If there's fires, what happens?
It exacerbates, or whatever that word is, the fires.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You all of a sudden have massive winds and winds and winds. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what that means. There's not going to be people out there with a little fanner going like this, like that.
Great.
No, this is literally, I would say it's more of a spiritual aspect. I'm going to send it to Babylon fanners. That's going to be his angelic. It's a spiritual aspect. Babylon's going to have a bunch of wind going through it. And the reason is because of the fires, which we'll talk about. So that's the first takeaway. The verse 3. I'm just going to go. So you're going to be dealing with fires. Mm-hmm. America's going to be literally all burned up.
On fire, yeah.
All burned up. Mm-hmm. Blackened skies. You will be at risk of fire. Whole neighborhoods going. And so even if you think you have solar, even if you think you have enough fuel, how much fuel do you think you have? How much storage do you think you have?
Yeah.
How much water do you think you have? Let me just go through this real quick. Verse 3, and against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. This is talking about warfare in between. This is warfare in Babylon. Against him that lifteth himself up in his brigadine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. I'm not going to put these scriptures up. Listen to what I'm saying, and you can read them if you want to follow along. It'll take me forever to edit this video. So we got warfare going on. Mm-hmm. Verse 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, or Chaldeans, depending on how everybody pronounces that differently. The residents of Babylon are the Chaldeans or Chaldeans. And they that are thrust through in her streets, means you're killed. Verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Flee every man his soul. Verse 9, and we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. These are the people who are I'm going to try to resurrect Babylon. We're going to try to keep America there.
Right.
We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even into the skies. Verse 11, make bright. You're hearing that God's saying, get out. And
right.
And there's no healing this. There's no turning it around. There's no you patriots that are going to stick into the very end. Verse 11, make bright the arrows. This is more fighting. Gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. What's that? Who's the spirit? What's the spirit of the Medes? Islam. Nah.
Ooh. I don't know. All this is so hard to
I know,
conceive.
babe. I know. And people don't see these scriptures. Now they can reject this. Mm-hmm. That this is not America.
Yeah.
Make bright the arrows. Gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. That's Islam. The Muslims. For the device is against Babylon. For his device, the spirit is against Babylon, us, to destroy it. Because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Not the third temple, the church. There's going to be persecution of the church. Verse 13, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundance and treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. We are filled with all kinds of pleasures. Just an FYI. And we are covetous of everything. The next this, the next that.
Yeah.
This, that. We're so filled up with but your end has come. Verse 26. I'm just picking out the verses that I believe how God is emptying Babylon of the judgments that are coming upon it. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations. This is building. A stone for a corner is you're beginning to build.
Okay.
And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith the Lord. So there's not going to be any rebuilding either. You may have something destroyed. I'm going to start building again. Foundations, and let's bring the corner in. Not according to this. Not according to Scripture. 29, and the land shall tremble and sorrow. The land shall tremble and sorrow. Why is the land going to tremble? There's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, folks. We're going to hear about this a little bit more, but there's also going to be warfare. For every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant, yet you want to remain here. Verse 36. Get a little of this one. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will plead thy cause, and I will, I will plead thy cause, and take vengeance for thee. God's going to plead our cause and take vengeance for us. What do you think caused us why is he doing that for us? What's happened to us? And I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. Rivers.
Yeah.
So
water.
Babylon's sea and her rivers are going to go dry. Now, we discussed this in a previous show about the companion.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to Babylon's rivers and sea? In fact, it's the other way around. It goes to sea first, and then the rivers. And that's before Jesus comes. That's second trumpet and third trumpet. A third of the sea.
So then
trumpet.
it's like really, 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 really gone by then.
Well, so you get second trumpet, about a year into it, you're seeing a third of the seas turn to blood, and her rivers.
Yeah.
Third trumpet, about another year later, is because it's moved inland. The rivers are gone.
Yeah.
Jesus still ain't even come here yet.
Oh.
So her sea's going to go away, and her rivers are going to dry up. And you think, you say, I have a well. Not anymore.
Yeah. Where's your water? You need water.
You're going to die. Yeah, you got to have water. You're going to have a lot of water stored up. Verse 37, Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, and astonishment and hissing, without an inhabitant. Verse 42, the sea has come up upon Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of the waves thereof. What is that? We've discussed it. You've heard it here. Madrid's going to go, and you're going to find out the west coast is going to go. And because I had a God dream about what's the waves that are going to be created via wartime. The tsunami, the Poseidon. I had a God dream on that. It's John Paul Jackson saw the shape of America changing.
This is all so depressing.
So
It's so
the sea's
sad.
going to take out portions
Yeah.
and the waves, and it's going to sink. In fact, Jeremiah ends the chapter with that. Thus shall Babylon sink. He throws a stone into the ocean.
Oh, my God.
Same thing happens in Revelation. Same Babylon. Verse 43, and her cities are a desolation and dry land and a wilderness, a land wherein no man dwelleth, neither doth the Son of Man pass thereby. Verse 45, my people, go ye out of the midst of her. Deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord. You don't get to stand right. What are you going to do? To stand right there? You're going to fight through it?
Yes.
You're going to fight through it? 53, though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, here you want to really hunker down in, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith the Lord. Spoilers, you know what that is. So you got all your stuff. John Paul said what he saw one time. He saw them going through neighborhoods, just burning down neighborhoods, grabbing everything. All that was left was just burnt chimneys standing up and the whole neighborhood's burnt down.
Wow.
This is before even wartime. And so that happens. So you get these spoilers that are willing to stay and who don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The worst of the worst evil that are there. And they're going to go through. And if you can be found, if you can be seen, if you can handle through the fires, if you can handle the fact that there's no water, if you could, the rations are that you think you're probably going to have your stuff spoiled if it comes. You better have some military around you, because that's in the end where this goes to. This goes into internal fighting. This is civil war we're talking about, folks. This is literally warfare. That's the spoiler. Our armies will do that anyway. They'll feed themselves. They'll make sure they're taken care of. Verse 56, because the spoiler has come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. The mighty men, even every one of their bows is broken. For the Lord God of recompenses shall surely requite. It means he'll repay. So, verse 62. This is the end of it. Last verse, then shalt thou say, O Lord, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none remain in it, neither man nor beast, but it shall be desolate forever. That's the ending of it. Next time we're going to talk about chapter 50. I'm going to go into Isaiah, and I'm going to give you more. But I guess, where does this take you?
That's so depressing.
Yeah. We're going to get off on how there's other fighting, and how rulers are against rulers. This place goes into civil war, folks. It is. But see, we don't. Which is what we're going to discuss in a TV show. All the numerous things that we're doing, like the homosexuality, just one thing, God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for, the sexual perversions. Yet we've gone way beyond in sexual perversions of every kind of thing we can think of, and what we haven't even thunk of, somebody else has already done it, or that's where they want to go. God can't be God and sit and watch this happen and teaching it to our kids and changing his kids. Yeah. We're out there.
No, that's true.
So, as the question has been posed, and we're sorry for taking so long, I wanted you folks to hear some things. This place is going to become a desolation.
People are going to ask you, though, like, what do they do? Where do they go?
I get it, and
I don't even know.
Here's I don't even know that I have that answer either.
Yeah.
Right now, the direction I'm going to be heading is going to be going into. Right now, Mexico's in an uproar.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be going through.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's going to be there comes a point in Babylon, Babylerica or Amarabalon, to where civil war is in full swing. And there is enemy lines, and you don't cross. You don't get to cross. So, where does that take you? If I had my way long ago, when I had a company, I tried to sell it, but I was being prevented to sell it. And I'd had extra money that I'd had everything all planned out. I'd had my getaway over here, and I'd done that because I knew when I was 20 years old I'd see the end. That's what God gave me. He said, giving you an end time message. Which that's what you hear here. I knew this would come, so I'd had it all ready. The thing is, you don't try to do it when everything's in an uproar.
Yeah.
You don't say, okay, I'm gonna do this when everything's chaotic, when your money means nothing. You don't. And I don't know what you think you're going to do anyway at that time. Everything's in an uproar, everything's chaotic, and things are falling apart. And that's when you think you're going to go down, and you who don't believe it's going to happen, that's when you go to the store, because you now see the economy is going to collapse, and yet that's not the way it works. Sudden destruction hits. Even Danny, who saw certain things, all of a sudden, all the people that were wealthy were in soup lines. Nobody was ready for, and this is the way things are going to come. It's judgment. You don't then prepare. You prepare when everything's okay. Now, I don't have the answer because everybody's going to be different. Everybody's different. I don't think there's one spot everybody's going to go. I don't know how to even say that.
No, I know, and I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know.
I think you have to pray. I think you have to ask God, because here's where you will go. when these things start happening, and they only get worse and worse and worse and worse, and they will get worse and worse, you will be left that anywhere is better than here. There is no place else. You must leave or you will die, kind of thing, and you will die. Or God's a liar, and or Babylon is not America. I mean, you can pick whatever you like, and everybody wants to do that. They all want to, Babylon's not America, or we got extra time, whatever. If you don't believe any of this, that's fine. But if you do think you're going to see it one day, what I would do, I would make preparations today. Like I've already done. We're prepared. Today we're prepared, but I also know I don't stay. I will not stay here. I am to bring people with me who will listen, and then that kind of goes wherever that goes. But if I could make arrangements right now, and the means were there, I'd be making arrangements as best I could somewhere, other than here, because this is not long term. This is today, but So I think you folks should pray, ask God, if you want me out of here, please make a way. Let there be a way, and I bet God will show you. It may not be easy, and you may not even be preferred. But you will reach a point, I promise you, if this happens and you see this, you'll reach a point to where anywhere becomes better than staying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't even, my mind can't even wrap, I don't understand.
Yeah, you can't get your head around it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, people wanted an answer. I don't have an answer for that. We have a temporary place of refuge here that people have bought into. And it will be only short-lived, like 6 months worth. And then I'm leaving. Anybody wants to stay here, they can have whatever I'm leaving behind. I mean it. I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm not going to be here after everything really starts getting bad. I'm here no longer than 6 months. And I'll be led at that point. And many times people, that is the way God asked his disciples to be, his apostles to be. Just go. And the Spirit will lead you.
Trust the process.
Yeah. Don't take all this stuff with you. Just take the clothes in your back.
Mm-hmm.
Take your staff. Take your script and go. Your Bible, your script, really.
Yeah.
We call it a Bible today. It's a script. The Testament. They'd take it and they just wherever the Spirit led. And when they got back, he said, "Did you lack anything?" They said, "Nope. We didn't lack one thing," even though they thought they were going to lack.
Right.
If only the church would ever come to that point, we'd really have no worries that God is really going to be with us when the time comes that we must go. But we don't know how to do that. And it certainly would be more convenient if we did it ahead of time. So that's all I know to say.
Yeah.
We need your support, by the way, folks. When one person stops or changes, God has to make up the missing or the gap from somebody else.
Yeah. No, I mean, when you make those videos, people move, but then it dwindles.
I love everybody who's helped. You're reaching people, folks, with a message that is so unique. They will not hear this anywhere else. So we need your help, and you know where it goes. Mm-hmm. God bless all of you, especially those who have been around long term, and even the people who don't. I'll take your prayers any day of the week. We need your prayers. There's warfare. There is warfare right now.
Yeah.
Look for more to come. Until next time, take care and God bless.
Bye.